Claude has a new feature where you record your screen once and then Claude does that task from you, then on. I tested this on a real process I have, and it's saving me 2 hours every week. If you're using AI, but you're still doing the same manual tasks every week, checking files, reviewing steps, this is the video for you, and you won't write a single line of code. By the end, you'll know how to record your screen once and have Claude turn that recording into a skill, and you'll watch mine review the videos that my editor sent me and see how it caught a real mistake at the exact timestamp. I'm Timothy. I work in AI product at a Fortune 500 company. So I have a day job, and that means I have to be really efficient with my time, and AI really helps. Here's the plan. We're going to walk through how the feature actually works in Claude, and then we're going to take a look at the skill I built using that feature, and then we're going to see that skill actually applied to my workflow, and you'll see how I'm saving 2 hours every week. What is the record a skill feature? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. You record your screen, and then Claude creates a skill for you. If you hover over this plus icon in Claude Cowork, you'll now notice this record a skill functionality right here. But if you think, why is this different or why is this even important? If you've ever heard the phrase, a picture is 1,000 words, that's exactly what we're hitting on here. Rather than explaining, we are now demonstrating. And that will always be a more efficient way to teach not even AI, but anyone in general a workflow and how to actually execute it. The actual functionality and purpose of record a skill is pretty straightforward, but it's the actual application of it that gets really interesting. Let's dive into my actual workflow that I applied this to. I create content on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all the short form platforms. And to do that, I have an editor that helps me. So, what I do is I shoot the raw videos, and then the editor then takes the scripts that I created for him and he follows them, and then he uses that script to edit his videos. Well, before, when I had to do a quality check for all of the edited videos, what I would do is manually go into all of the videos that he created and then look at the script and then make sure everything was in line. Not only that, but I had to do a quality check on the captions to make sure there were no misspellings. I had to make sure that the audio was good, and I had to make sure that there were no glaring issues with any of the videos. But what if AI could just do that quality check for us? Well, that's what I created with this record a skill feature that just came out. Everything that I just explained to you, I explained to Claude via the record a skill feature. So if you look, this is the chat that I started it in. And all I did was literally walk Claude through the exact steps that I take to quality check all of those videos. Claude then created the screen recording, and it tracks when you switch tabs, what you clicked on. And then from there, after I explained the process, Claude asked a few questions and then it did an eval. But did it actually work? I was a bit skeptical. So I just had the chance to apply this to a set of 14 short form videos that my editor completed for this week. And my task is to quality check them. Well, I just created the skill. So I wanted to see if the skill could completely handle that for me. This was actually the longest I've ever had Claude work, which is 20 minutes, and that was on Fable. So what I did was take that skill and apply it for all of those videos. If you want to take a look, it actually did an amazing job. And I know we're on YouTube, and on YouTube, we should be overly excited and make things dramatic. But guys, this is actually crazy. And this is my actual workflow. It did an amazing job. So if you want to take a look at the actual report that it created, it was able to look at every single one of the 14 videos, check if the captions had any typos, check if the script was actually followed by the editor. And also, a third thing that it did, which I didn't even know it could do, was it actually measured the loudness of all of the videos. And so that was another crazy thing that kind of broke my limiting belief of what was possible with using AI in your work. What we have here is a quality check report on all of the videos. It's broken up into two sections. We have things that should be flagged globally, and then we have things that should be flagged by video. So on the global flags, like we talked about, it measured the loudness, which was absolutely crazy. And it also brought up two other points that I need to work on in regards to the call to actions at the end of the videos. But once we start getting into the actual feedback that it created for each specific video, this is where my mind was kind of blown. It took every single video, and then for the script of that video of what I created for the editor, it checked to see if the editor actually followed the script for the edits or for the captions or for the sound effects or for anything that he added to the video. And that was the one thing that was crazy to me. So, for example, if we look at this first video, the result is clean, no revisions needed. But if we start to scroll down, this is really interesting because we start to get some really, really good feedback on the quality of the videos. And I take these comments, look at them myself, and then if I think they're actually good, send them off to my editor so he can make revisions. Let's take this video, for example, computer use. This was the script that I provided to the editor, and then the AI or Claude checked to see if the editor actually followed what is here. On this video, Claude was able to call out two specific points that the editor missed out on and to follow up with him about. So it looks like the computer use keyword pop never appeared. And it looks like for this part where there was supposed to be a punch zoom on covers, that zoom is missing. Guys, like how crazy is that? And think about this. I manually go in and quality check each of these videos to make sure everything in here is in order. But then AI took the first pass at that quality check and was able to do it for me. I'm not going to be dramatic and say that this was 100% perfect, but it was legitimately 95% there. And this has already saved me 2 hours a week. Now, for me, all I need to do is spend literally 10 minutes looking at the specific comments that it made and then go QA that against the actual edited videos and see if the feedback makes sense. If it does, send them off. If it doesn't, then I send that to Claude and let it know that it made a mistake. Insane. If we continue to scroll through the feedback for the rest of the videos, it follows that same exact format. Any videos that were clean, it marks them as clean. Any videos that needed feedback or revisions, it called those out. I'm honestly just shocked. What's really interesting about this record a skill functionality that I'm still learning is what are the limits here? What if I recorded my screen doing the most complicated task in the world? Could Claude do it? I'm not sure, but I want to continue testing this functionality and see what those limits are. But I want to make sure, and I encourage you to do this as well, only be doing this for the actual constraints that you're facing. So then for me, I have this manual task that I spend about 2 hours a week on. Now I have those 2 hours back where I can work on higher leverage activities for everything I'm doing. With that all being said, that is how I save 2 hours a week. And now I hope that you actually are starting to think about how you can apply this record a skill functionality to your process or your workflow. If you want to build something like this for yourself and you want my help doing it, that's exactly what my community Mastering Claude Cowork is for. I just built it and I just finished the first course, which is for beginners. After that, I'll be releasing an intermediate and advanced level course as well. But the courses, to be honest, are just a bonus. The main part of this community is Q&A and access to me and help for whatever you're actually working on. If you're interested, that link is down below in the description. I'll see you in the next video.